Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, September 12th. So the moon is still in Scorpio waters. Don't worry, we're wrapping up these, very deep, intense, passionate, and desirable energies to move into Sagittarian energy. And the beautiful thing about this is that Sagittarian energy is the light at the end of what was a very dark tunnel in Scorpio energy. We get renewed, we get confident, we can see the bigger picture again. We become optimistic and positive about some of the realizations, some of the details that we had a hard time with while the moon was in Scorpio. So the moon is going to be in Scorpio until about 2:34 a.m., again, Atlantic Standard Time, when it basically sets off in its transit to lock into Sagittarius energy. That will be happening at 5:35 a.m. So the bulk of our waking day, I guess, will be in Sag energy. It will be very light and bright and fluffy compared to the last couple of days. We have 8 different cosmic events taking place today. And guess what? All 8 of them are involving the moon. This is an emotional refinement. Again, we're moving into a stage this week where, energies are shifting. We're wrapping up life lessons. We're preparing to take the first steps in our new path, building new foundations. And so we do have to do a little bit of refining as far as our emotions are concerned. So the moon, still in Scorpio, is going to make its last particular aspect with Mars. Mars, of course, rules over Scorpio, so this is a powerful conversation. It's a positive conversation, and basically, it's a little bit of a pep talk for us to recognize that, you know what, we've analyzed, we've thought about it, we're coming from a practical place. Our emotions agree with our head, our soul agrees with the both of them, and it's kind of giving us the inner check mark, the validation that we need to go ahead and start making moves. Mars, of course, wants to take action, has been a little bit held back in Virgo energy because everything has to be perfect. That Virgo energy, of course, the perfectionist and OCD energy of the zodiac, needs to literally pick things apart and break things down and think things over and over and over again until we are 100% sure that it is the right move to make, that we are aligned, that this is the right step to take at this particular time. And because of the inner work that we've been doing, especially while the moon has been in Scorpio, we are 100% prepared right now, feeling good, mind, body, and soul, to go ahead and take a step forward. So then the moon does its beautiful thing and moves into Sagittarian energy. And the very first aspect that the moon in Sag makes is a little bit of a tension point with Mercury, the mental plane, information, communication. Here's the thing though. The Sag energy just wants truth. And we haven't had a whole lot of truth. Mostly not because, intentional lies and betrayal have been at the top of the list, but because we haven't had clarity. We didn't know what was true. Now, because we're starting to see the pieces come together, we're able to see the path forward. We're able to see the details come together. So the moon in Sag is pushing for us to speak out. Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, but rules over our throat chakra, communication. Mercury is in Libra. He just wants things to be fair. He wants to speak up and speak out, speak the truth so that we can get to the nitty-gritty of the problem and get back on the same page, especially in our heart, with our head, and then in our relationships. Again, like I had spoke about in the ascension symptom forecast last week, we had a pretty interesting aspect with Mercury, the moon, and Chiron that triggered us to speak out and maybe hurt some feelings. Why? Because sometimes the truth hurts. Do we intentionally want to hurt people? No. Well, some of us do, but that is a shadow issue that you're going to have to walk through on your own. Most of us hesitate in speaking the truth because we don't want to hurt other people's feelings. That has to end. We have to speak our truth no matter the effects on other people, because as long as we're speaking our truth, we're not malicious. We're not trying to hurt or disrupt our relationships. We're not looking to cause harm. We're looking to speak up, to be heard, to advocate for ourselves. And so the moon in Sag wants us to speak up, speak our truth. With this mercurial energy, you best believe we need to be heard. We have to be understood. We have a lot of realizations coming up in us right now that need to be manifested in our physical realm. We're not mind readers, nor are the people in our lives able to read our minds. We have to bring things to life. We have to be able to communicate in order to resolve the problems. Now, the moon is going to bump into Venus, and Venus is in Scorpio right now. She is just getting her feet wet in Scorpio waters. Things are a little bit intense, and this is likely going to trigger us in a way. It's likely going to be an outside trigger, likely from our relationships that we're looking to speak up and speak our truth within. And this isn't going to feel so good. But again, like I kind of explained in the energy forecast, the ascension symptom forecast for this week is about speaking our truth and exposing our wounds and hurting other people if need be by our truth in order to take the guard down, to take the mask off, for us to be vulnerable, for us to connect more intimately, for us to get real with ourselves, with other people, and actually cut the bullshit away in order for us to realize what is important. Many of us front a beautiful game, not only to ourselves in the mirror, but to the people in our lives. We want to pretend that they don't hurt us. We want to pretend that things are awesome. Things aren't awesome. We need to get to a different level of truth here, and you best believe Venus in Scorpio is going to expose the lies in order for truth to emerge, going to express and illuminate those shadow parts of ourselves, of our relationships, in order to turn it into a powerful connection in the relationships of value. We're going to get a lot of illumination here because the moon is going to go ahead and make a beautiful aspect with the sun in Virgo. So as you know, the sun in Virgo wants to come up with solutions. We are problem solver extraordinaire. We have to analyze what's going on here. And the earlier aspects are really kind of illuminating to the fact that we have some truth to speak. We have some conversations we need to open. We're highly triggered by either how our truth is received or the truth that we're actually receiving from other people. And when this happens, we are connecting the dots to past pain, past trauma, past emotional baggage, why we're thinking and feeling and acting the way that we are. And the sun illuminates for us where it is that we can adopt new habits, adopt new patterns, reorganize, restructure our energy exchanges, and of course, analyze the details right to death, the inner workings of our mental plane, so that we can flip the script. We can use that as a beautiful foundation to build upon. Sometimes we need to break down before we have a breakthrough. So the moon in Sag is going to go ahead and sit across the table from the true node. Now, typically speaking, this isn't a great conversation. This is a little bit of a tension point, a little bit of a conflict. Why? Because the true node wants us to get our shit together. The true node wants us to get back on the right path, wants us to align with the path that is going to get us from point A to point B the fastest, the easiest, with the less pain and the less drama. The moon in Sag, though, the moon in Sag has a big vision, but is losing the details, right? The sun in Virgo wants nothing more than the details to be illuminated, the step-by-step process that we have to take. And the moon in Sag is a little bit too extra, too confident, too optimistic, too cautionary with just acting first and thinking later. That is not going to ride very well with us. This is what the problem is. It's like the true node is saying, okay, you have to really focus here. You can't just throw caution in the wind and just see how things go. We're at a critical time of planning now. You can't just go willy-nilly. You have to have a direction. You have to have a focus. And the moon in Sag is just wanting to have fun, wanting to bust free, wanting to just see the bigger picture unfold, just to explore the possibilities. We are renewed in our confidence, our clarity, our faith, and we just want to kind of throw caution in the wind and just see how it goes. True node ain't having it. The true node would rather us stay in the exact same position that we're at and formulate a plan and not make a move until that plan is well thought out, very strategic and calculated, and will kind of sacrifice the timeline a little bit if it means that we just stand still until we are a little bit more stable, a little bit more logical, a little bit more refined in the direction in which we're launching in. The moon, just happy-go-lucky, just having a time, is going to bump into Saturn, who is retrograde in Aquarius. So the Lord of Karma comes into play, and you know what? It's kind of giving us a pep talk. We've been such low and slow, somber little human beings lately, with all the low vibrational frequencies really illuminating for us where it is that we have to bust free of these restrictions and really find new ways of moving forward and elevating our vibration and frequency, that Saturn is just happy to see that we are out of our funk. You know, sometimes when you become depressed and you like stay in the house for a week and you're just on the couch and you feel gross, and then all of a sudden you wake up that day and you're like, I'm done with this. And you put your scuzzy ass in the shower and you put some good food in your stomach and you clean up your house and you're feeling good. And then you go outdoors and it's like the sun almost blinds you and the oxygen is so pure that it hurts your lungs. Well, nature is happy to see us at this point. The Lord of Karma is happy to see us at this point because we're busting out of the negative, low vibrational funk that we've been in. And the Lord of Karma has nothing but good things to say. He is proud that we got off the couch. He is proud that our scuzzy asses jumped into the shower. He is proud that we're no longer stuffing our emotional voids with processed junk food. He is just proud that we got our asses up, that we went outdoors, and that we're ready to begin again. The moon is going to go ahead and bump into Pluto. Pluto is the god of the underworld. He is retrograde in Capricorn right now, trying to show us our fears, our insecurities, our doubts. He's trying to show us where in the past, through memory flashes and repressed memories, where it is that we felt powerless, where it is that we felt out of control, where it is that we became a little bit manipulated by other people's power and control. And this is supposed to fuel us up in a negative way in order to allow that to be the motivation to take our power back, to build strong boundaries, to recognize where fear is just an opportunity to stand in our power and make things happen. So the moon in Sag, who wants to see the big picture, who wants to stay optimistic, who wants to stay positive, who wants to just, dance around fun and fancy free, bumps into Pluto, and Pluto's like, ooh, should I take this opportunity to remind you that life is not all butterflies and rainbows, or should I just let you dance on? Here's the thing. There's a push and pull. Like we talked about in this week's energy forecast, we are being torn apart. There's a good reason for that. It doesn't feel good, but this is a prime example on where it is that emotionally we just want to stay light and fluffy. We just want to be, happy-go-lucky. We just want to kind of throw caution to the wind and see what happens. And then we get pulled into the darkness. We have to go back. We have to reflect. We have to feel this overwhelming pressure of feeling like you're out of control, like you have no power over the situation, over your mental plane, over your emotions. And what does this do? It kicks our cosmic ass in gear, okay? Sometimes the greatest changes come out of frustration, come out of feeling helpless, feeling powerless, feeling bullied in life. Sometimes we have to recognize that victim mentality needs to go in order for us to be survivors, warriors that we were built to be. And in this moment, perfectly, divinely scripted, the moon in Sag makes a beautiful, beautiful interaction with Mars, who is in Virgo. Now, you may recall that the very first aspect that was even taking place today, when the moon was still in Scorpio, was with Mars. Mars in Virgo is ready to make moves, ready to roll up the sleeves, ready to exert and aggress oneself in the right direction to make shit happen. We are no longer sitting back and letting things happen to us. We are making things happen for us. We are definitely using the darker vibrations that Pluto illuminated for us, our powerlessness, our lack of control, our fears, our insecurities, our doubts. We are standing in those lower vibrations, and we will be triumphant. And Mars, the god of war, is going to make sure that we are cutting through every single dark frequency and vibration that gets illuminated to us in order to push forward. Again, this Virgo energy, we are solving problems. We are rebuilding, restructuring, reorganizing how we're moving in this world, and our physical energy is going to benefit because of it.